Hi everyone, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and today we're going to create some amazing Easter projects with the Easter 2025 card kit using only components from the kit. So today I have 2 cards, a gift bag, and even a framed piece to share with you. We're going to start with the Irresistibly Cute stamp set and coordinating dies included in the kit, and some of the Nina white cardstock. We're also going to take the black ink pad from Gina K that's in the kit to use to stamp our images. I've chosen 4 of the 5 images from this stamp set, as well as 3 sentiments to stamp here. And I'm just going to position and move the images around to fit onto my cardstock the best. I was able to get everything for my 2 cards and the gift bag out of this half sheet. The rest of the half sheet of cardstock is going to be used to create the mats that 2 of the images are going to go on for 2 of the cards. Once I have my images in here, I'm going to go ahead again and take that Gina K ink included in the kit and stamp my images. Now you'll notice one of these sentiments actually did not stamp super well, probably because it was a brand new ink pad. It's also stamps that had never been stamped before. So I do go ahead and off camera restamp that for a crisper sentiment for my card. I'm trying to make sure that I am hitting every little area on these images before pressing them down. Then I can reevaluate and see what I maybe need to fix. I especially noticed a couple of light spots around the hat on the bunny. How adorable are these bunny faces? They are just perfect and so sweet and cute. I love that they're not super teeny tiny, so they're going to make a great presence on our cards. Once we have the images stamped, I'm going to go ahead and color my images in with alcohol ink markers. You can use whatever your favorite alcohol ink coloring medium is, or even colored pencils, whatever you prefer. I'm going to list the marker colors I used down in the description below for easy reference. I'm starting with my little boy bunny here, and I am going to lay down my darkest color first, and then I'm going to blend out with my mid-tone, finishing with the lightest. When you're working with any alcohol ink markers, you can choose whether you want to go all over with your light color first and then blend in with your dark and medium tone, or you can do it like I'm doing here, where I tend to like to outline with my dark color and then blend out with any lighter shades. Especially with the Olo markers, I have found that that is a technique that works really well for me. I love these little bunnies. We're going to do 2 different coloring combinations. So for the larger 2 images here up at the top, I'm going to do more of a brown color combo. And then for the 2 smaller bunny images, we're going to do some grays so that they are white bunnies, but with the appropriate shading. One of my favorite things about alcohol ink markers is that you can go over your images as many times as you need to get the desired effect. And it's not going to pill your cardstock. I often, if I'm not super happy with something, I kind of let it sit for a little bit, let that ink dry so that I don't oversaturate the cardstock and it pushes outside of our black line, and then I'll go back in and fix it. To help disguise any little imperfections, one of my favorite techniques is to take a same color that you use, like the darkest, medium or darkest color that I've used for an area, and I like to do a little dotted detail to give, especially animals, a little bit of texture. I'm going to give this bunny a little aqua bow tie to match the mint color of cardstock included in our kit. Next, we're going to color in our little girl bunny. I love that both of her ears feature a darling little bow. And again, she's getting the same color treatment as the first bunny. I am using all of the same colors, and you can see them down the left side of the screen as well as down in the description box for reference. She's going to get yellow bows in her hair instead of the mint, as there is the wonderful yellow color, the lemon color cardstock or card base included in our kit today, and I wanted to match her to that card. You'll notice that both of these cards, if you saw the finished photo at the beginning of this video, are a tone on tone. So while the bunny features these neutrals, everything else, including the accessories for the bunny, the backgrounds, and the card bases, are a tone on tone. So we're going to match everything to that. It's one of my favorite techniques when I'm not exactly sure what colors or what all colors I want to use. Next, I did pull in a little bit of an orange with my yellows as my dark shading color. And we've colored in her hair bows. We're going to work on our little gray bunnies next, starting with our warm gray 3, and I'm going to add in all of my darkest shading and again work my way from darkest to lightest shades. Warm gray 1 is next, and then I'm going to finish with warm gray 0. We'll be using the same R colors, R0.1 and 0.2, for the insides of the ears, the cheeks, and the nose. You may have noticed with the images above that I went ahead and took my lightest neutral color over the pink on the insides of the ears, and I toned down the pink just a tad. That is one of my favorite ways to kind of lessen the brightness of a pink like that, is to take my lightest blending color from the neutrals and just tone it down. We're going to do that for the inside of the pink on the little white bunny's ears too. Just adding in our little bit of shading everywhere for our dark pink. Now we're going to pull in some pink colors for the bow in her hair. Using some reds, but more lighter reds, we're going to just add all that color in. For this background, I am going to feature more of the pinks, but I did pull in some pastel blue for the little blue bunny as well, and I think it works really nicely against our background that we'll be creating with the Argyle Builder stencils. How cute is she? Now, one thing I do want to mention about any type of critter is that when I am coloring them, I often will do all of my coloring and then I die cut them, and then I will go back and add detail to the face. In this case, the eyes are really one of the most prominent features on the face, and I think they definitely need a little extra attention. I'm going to be die cutting these and then taking a black jelly roll pen and adding detail to the eyes. The reason I like to wait until after I've die cut is that I find that the jelly roll pen almost gives a rounded effect on the eye that I particularly like, but if you do it before running through the die cut machine, it kind of flattens, and I want it to have as much texture as possible. I've taken the coordinating dies, die cut my images, and now you can see me taking the black jelly roll pen and adding that black into the eyes, making them pop. If the eyes are on the smaller side, I go ahead and just fill in the whole thing with black, and then I let them sit for a bit before I go in with my white jelly roll pen and replace those highlights. I've also added a few highlights here and there on my bunnies, including around the whiskers and the ears and the bows and any other accessories, just adding a little touch of fun and whimsy. I did stamp multiple carrots and color them in off camera so that our gift bag will actually feature 4 of those carrots. Next, we are going to take this wonderful, neatly knitted embossing folder, and we're going to take our mint and lemon card bases. We're going to trim down our card bases, And I started kind of big. I actually ended up trimming this, let me see, to about 2 3/4 by 4. This is going to be the panel that we run through our embossing folder. We're starting with a white base for each. We will then go back and trim a little bit bigger mat to go back behind each of our embossed panels. I love embossing folders for adding a very simple and easy background that has lots of texture. In this case, we're going to run each of those white panels through our embossing folder, and then we're going to take 2 of the Distress Oxide inks included in the kit, as well as the blending brushes included in the kit, and we're going to create an ombre effect right over the embossing. On one, we're going to take cracked pistachio, and on the other, we're going to take squeezed lemonade. I know I'm starting at the top, but that's actually the bottom. We are going to go darker, and then we're going to gradually lighten as we go up the panel. This is going to give us that perfect ombre effect that's going to work great against the mint background. How cute does our bunny with the little mint or aqua bow tie look against this background? I love it. We're going to do the same thing for the squeezed lemonade background. The Simon Says Stamp blending brushes are perfect for this, as they give great coverage even over these wonderful embossed backgrounds. And again, I'm making sure and keeping the darkest down at what is going to be the bottom and lightening gradually as it goes towards the top. Now we can go ahead and adhere everything together. Using a bone folder, I'm going to score my pre-cut and scored Simon Says Stamp card bases. I've got a mat here. Then we have the embossed and inked background for each, plus our sentiments. Let's go ahead and adhere it all together. Starting with the bunnies, we're going to use some of the foam adhesive, also included in the kit, to pop up the bunnies right on our embossed background. The sentiment is going to be adhered directly over the embossing. We're not going to pop that up with anything. Although if you wanted to and you have some skinnier foam adhesive in your stash, that would be great as well. I'm positioning the bunny up towards the top of the panel, and then we're going to glue the rest of, or the sentiment, pardon, right underneath using the Connect glue that is included in your kit. That is right, you even get the glue and the little bottle for the fine tip to adhere it, which is awesome. You also get this silver cord in the kit that we're going to wrap around 3 times and tie in a bow. I'm going to snip that, just tie it right here, and then trim the ends. I love these thin silver cords. It adds a great little pop of texture while not taking away from the overall design. Now, to hide the fact that we've wrapped this twine or this cord around this panel, I'm also going to take some foam adhesive and I'm going to pop this panel up on the white one. The white mat then is going to be glued directly to the card base. We're going to follow all of these same steps for the second card. The final steps for our cards today are going to include the Positively Dazzling pastel gems and also the sequin mix that you get in the Easter kit. I've got some triangle trays from Simon Says Stamp here ready for my embellishments. I love pouring them out into these triangle trays. It makes it so easy to be able to see what I have, pick the colors, because again, I really want to keep this monochromatic, meaning I want to use those goldish yellow ones on the yellow background and the green ones on the mint. I love the clear for that added little touch of sparkle and fun without overpowering. I'm going to start by adding dabs of glue using that fine tip applicator that comes with the Gina K Connect glue, and I'm using my embellishment wand from Simon Says Stamp to pick up my gems and pop them in place. We're going to do this for both of the cards, scattering a healthy dose, probably about 8 gems or sequins and gems on each. In some instances, I even layered a gem right on top of one of the larger sequins. I love that little added extra touch. Once we have all of our embellishments in place, our 2 cards are completely finished. Next, we're going to take the little brown paper bag included in the kit, the white pigment ink pad, blending brush, and Argyle layering stencils, all from the kit as well. Using both Saltwater Taffy and the white pigment ink included in the kit, we are going to stencil the front of our brown paper bag gift bag. I'm going to start with my Saltwater Taffy using that blending brush right from the kit. Then we're going to go ahead and go in with our white pigment ink. I'm not worrying about being super precise. This is a very easy stencil to easily line up and be able to stencil taller or wider than what it actually is. So you can see that I'm going to go ahead and just move it up and finish building my Argyle background. Oh, I missed a diamond, so I'm going to come back and fix that before moving on. Actually, maybe I didn't. Maybe I come back and fix it in a little bit. Next, we're going to take the white pigment ink, and I am using one of the paper pouncers from my stash, which is my preferred way to stencil the white pigment ink. And we're just going to pounce this on using the second piece of the layering stencil set. This is going to give us a pink and white perfect Argyle stenciled background. Next, we have the detail stenciling. I'm going to go back with the Saltwater Taffy and add in that little stitching detail. What I love about stencils is that you can easily go back and fix anything that you've missed. I love the craft with the addition of the pink and white here. Lining up my stencil with the center of each of the Argyle shapes, I'm going to do a much heavier hand with the Saltwater Taffy. This is going to make that pink really pop. It is going to be lighter against the pink since it's the same color, but it will show up really nicely against the white. I'm not worried too much about it being perfect. I just want it to have that little bit of stitchy detail. Now we need to figure out where we're going to place our cute little bunnies, sentiment, and carrots. I decided that I want to fold over the top of the gift bag, punch some holes, and then thread through our silver cord to tie it shut. So I'm going to open up the bag, kind of figure out how far down I want to fold it over, and I do like the contrast of the solid top. I didn't stencil the back of the bag, although you could if you want a little bit more seamless design. Holding that in place just so I can visually have an idea, I'm going to use my tweezers. And then I'm going to pop both the bunny faces right here on my bag using some more of that foam adhesive. You may have to use a little bit of foam from your stash if you've used up everything that came in the kit, or you could glue these directly to your bag. I'm going to put them up a little bit higher, leaving room down below the bunny faces for my carrots and my sentiment. I did end up having to move one of the foam adhesive squares as I couldn't overlap the two bunnies easily or as easily as I wanted. So let's just peel this one up, and I'm going to move it up just a little bit, leaving a little bit of room to tuck his little ear back behind her face. Folding it flat for this step is going to make it a lot easier. Look how cute their sweet little faces are. Now, I thought about adding the carrots right underneath their faces, but I decided to go ahead and glue down my Happy Easter first. And just naturally, as I was gluing this down, I like the little swoops at the end of the word Easter, and I feel like it's the perfect spot to kind of tuck in our carrots. I did start with only 2 carrots for this design, but I decided I like the look of 2 on each side. So I'm going to go ahead, glue these 2 down, stamp color, die cut 2 more, and pop those over on the other side. I'll do that here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and punch some holes in the top of our bag, thread through our silver cord, and tie it into a little bow. This is a very quick and easy way to make adorable little party favors or Easter favors for all kinds of different activities. I just tried to center as close as possible. You could measure it if you wanted to. Used my crocodile to punch those holes, and then I'm just going to thread the silver cord through and then tie it into a bow. I love these little bags. I think they're the perfect size for some sweet treats and even some little goodies. And just a really, really cute and fun way to make a favor bag. Finally, we're going to make a little picture frame to round out our projects today. Starting with the cotton candy cardstock in the kit, I'm going to trim a panel to 4 by 6 inches. We're taking the Argyle stencils, the cotton candy cardstock, white pigment ink, and the picture frame, all included in the kit for this first step. Now for this stenciling, I'm only using 2 of the 3-piece stencils. I have stenciled on the white right over the pink, and then we're going to line up the detailing and take our saltwater taffy and do a nice heavy hand to apply that stitching detail. Basically, we are not stenciling the pink portion of our Argyle since we're starting with a colored cardstock. I love how pretty this is. I think you could even do this with your cracked pistachio or squeezed lemonade. Here's how that's going to look in the frame. Now, I did ultimately decide that I want to pop up my images, so I'm not going to use the glass as it's shown here on the front. To stamp my bunny from the Hoppy birthday stamp set, I blended together saltwater taffy and squeezed lemonade using blending brushes right on my stamp, and then pressed that into some more of the white cardstock included in the kit. I love this because where those 2 colors meet, it gives you that 3rd color of orange. Then I'm going to stamp the detail, the leaves and everything, with the cracked pistachio. Over the little heart on for the bunny tail, I'm going to stamp that with the saltwater taffy several times to make it nice and bold. This is only so that what you see from the side still shows pink. I'm also going to stamp another heart with the saltwater taffy ink and die cut it with the heart itself. We're going to pop that little bunny tail up right over that. So I'm going to put a foam square down and then pop up the little bunny tail. I love how soft and pretty the little bunny is against this background. Next, we're going to take the Happy Easter dies from the kit, and we are going to die cut the scripty words only, not the shadow, from some more of the cotton candy cardstock. And to make it slightly darker than the cotton candy color, we're going to turn it into that saltwater taffy. We are going to just pounce on our color so that it is a beautiful tone on tone. Now, to make our sentiment our greeting stand out a little bit more, I'm actually going to die cut this 3 more times from the cotton candy cardstock and then glue them one on top of another using our Gina K Connect glue. I like to use my tweezers to hold them and keep my fingers out of the glue, and then just draw the glue on with that fine tip applicator. Then we're going to take our inked greeting and pop it on top. I'm going to glue 4 layers together, and then we're going to glue that right underneath the bunny. I've glued the bunny directly to the background. Now, to put my frame together before we add our finishing detail, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my stamped piece in the front, and to make it fit in here nicely, I'm actually just going to pop the glass in the back. This means that if I ever want to use the frame with the glass, it's right there. I can just pop out the insert and change it out and use the glass. It also makes my piece lay nice and flush. Finally, we are going to stamp some additional hearts from our Irresistibly cute stamp set and die cut them with the coordinating dies and scatter them throughout our our frame. Then we're also going to take the Positively Dazzling gems again and the sequins, and we're going to do a little scattering throughout this to finish it off, give it some sparkle and fun, and it's the perfect little framed piece that you can sit on an end table or a display to add to your Easter decor. Thank you so much for joining me today for these 4 Easter projects featuring the Simon Says Stamp 2025 Easter Kit. All of these projects use the kit only, except for maybe a few basic supplies. The supplies I used to create these cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today for these Easter projects, and we'll see you in the next video.
I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.